Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pits of Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got a special guest, Jim Cummings, front engine dragster, runs on alcohol. How you doing, Jim?
Good. How you doing, Dave? Thanks for having me on.
No problem. So, I love supporting all you drag racers. I don't care if it's a bracket racer, junior dragster, whatever. Any drag racer is fine with me.
It works for me too.
So how was your holidays, buddy?
It was very good. Uneventful, all good, and we're just digging out of snow out here in Jersey, so we got about 2 feet a year.
So how was your drag racing season last year with the COVID going on?
You know, we had very limited races last year. I actually run a group called the East Coast Fuelers, and we put on exhibition shows up and down the East Coast, and we had 2 races last year. Between a lot of the states shutting down and all, it was rough. Hopefully this year things will be a little easier.
So how long have you had that group?
I've been running it. We formed probably about 3-4 years ago now, and we got some badass cars, to be quite honest with you. We got cars running 640s, Charlie Benson. We're all running the 7.0s, 690s in that range.
And how many guys you got in the group?
There's 14 teams at the moment, and we'll go from the Carolinas to upstate New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good, great group of people. It's family, That's the bottom line.
So normally without COVID, how many events do you guys usually run?
We usually have 7 to 8 races a year, events. Who knows now with all of these racetracks, either, COVID hurt drag race strips themselves, which is unfortunate. You see some closing. And, I get it. It's a business deal. Bottom line, they got to make money as well. So, when we try and put fans in the stands for these guys.
So do you got anything booked for 2021 so far yet?
Yeah, we actually have a few races so far. We have Virginia Motorsports Park. They're at the Super Chevy Show mid-June, I think June 19th. June 12th is at Cecil County. It's the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgic event, and the Dover race up in Lebanon Valley every year in September. That's a really big probably the 2 biggest car shows around, the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgic race at Cecil and the Dover race. 2 really big events.
All right. So now, for the 2 events you ran last year, how'd your dragster run?
Well, I did very well. These tracks and a lot of the teams that I have out there, everybody hasn't raced a lot last year, and there was some breakage and there's some interesting things, but we were running good. We were like 713s around there, so it's not so bad.
So what's the fastest run time you had with that dragster?
That was it there. so far, but it's we'll get there. It should have a little bit more in it. The chassis is an old. It's actually the Survivor. It's an Ed Mabry chassis out of Texas, and it's, from what I understand, from I'm pretty sure it's Paul Smith's old World Championship comp eliminated car from 1973.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah, it's got some history.
So what year did you get that dragster?
I acquired it from Mike Millsap out of Texas in 2009, and I ran it with an injected motor at first, and then about 3 years ago I put the blower motor in it.
Nice.
Yeah. Total different animal.
So
they definitely get your attention.
So let me rewind the clock with you, Jimmy, and ask you, how did you get into drag racing in the first place?
Oh, gosh. I've been drag racing since legitimately in 78. It was street racing in Brooklyn in the earlier years. I've been hooked in drag racing forever. My first race and taste of nitro was 1968 at New York National Speedway out of Long Island. And I saw Brutus and a couple of other funny cars there, and I was hooked ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. I got gray hair. No.
So do I, but not totally gray yet, though. Yeah. I'm 52 right now, so I'll be 53 this year.
Yeah, I got a few more on you, but as all drag races are, we're all competitive in some way.
So now, what'd you start out drag racing in? Did you start bracket?
Yeah, I was bracket racing. First car I had a 69 Roadrunner, then a 72 Barracuda. I was doing a lot of drag racing with, out on Long Island, actually out of West Hampton's dragway. I'm a New York boy. And I was doing bracket racing, and then I was running, I had an old Garlet front motor car with a big block Chrysler in it. Then I took a little hiatus, got married, life, and I got back into it with this car.
So when you did bracket racing, how'd you do in bracket racing? Did you have any success?
Yeah, I was, probably the most successful car was my Dragster, believe it or not. That was actually pretty fun. I remember John Nobile coming up to me after I put him out one round. He said, "You got to put a flag on the front of that. I can't see the front end." Yeah, it was fun. It was good times. It was. We did well. Didn't do crazy, no real big events, but a weekly bracket racing track out there. I did okay. You got to go, like anything in bracket racing, you got to go out all the time. You get to be good at it.
Now, Jim, going back when you first started bracket racing all these years ago, how was your first time experience going down the track? You remember?
It was awesome, actually. You rehearse it all the time when you were a kid, and you pictured yourself riding your bicycle and picturing all of that stuff. Naturally, you're nervous, your feet are shaking a little bit, but you move past that pretty quick, and you just keep going for more.
So, how about your first time driving this current Alki Dragster? How was that experience?
That was a learning curve as well. Baby steps at first, figured the car out, figured out everything else, and then it starts, you still have to be aware of everything going on, but at the same time, it becomes more and more routine, for the best way to say it.
Now, when you started out drag racing, did you have any drag racers out there that you looked up to or inspirational to you?
My brother was probably one of helped me out a lot, and racers all around. Garlitz was probably obviously as everybody. I liked a lot of the guys. We used to build the models back in the day. The big, I guess the 1/16th or one of the bigger Revell and stuff, and it was Tony Nancy and Mulligan and all those guys, and all that stuff. The old front motor cars, I loved them.
Now, after all these years of drag racing, now, Jim, what still keeps you passionate about it?
There's a lot of things. The thrill of speed, the adrenaline is always going to be there. The camaraderie of any racer, and as we get more experience in life, we all help each other out. Bottom line, it's a family. It's a removed family. Outside of blood family, they're right there for you. What do you need?
Yeah, that's the same story here from every drag racer interview. It's all about the family, the camaraderie.
Yeah, Exactly. The competition's great. We bust each other's chops. We have fun with everybody. You know, we kid and goof around just like anybody else does, like any other family would.
Then there's always the story about you could be going up against some guy for the next round and you break something, and if he has the part, he'll give it to you just to run against him still.
In a heartbeat. And naturally, I do the same for anybody else too as well. Any of my teams that we run, we're all there. It's like, here, take it. Give it back to me next week or buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get everybody down the track. I like to see people always smiling and be successful, even if they are my competitor.
So now, Jim, do you think you could get any better as a drag racer? And if so, how do you achieve that to get better?
Definitely. There's always room for improvement. It's, if I lose a race, first thing I do is look in the mirror, figure out what I did wrong. I rehash it. And there's always the thrill or seek to get better and go faster and be consistent. And we're getting there. So this car with the blow motor, it's still a learning experience for me, and there's still a lot of learning. Bottom line, you're always learning from these things.
Now, does your group have a following? You get people to come on and watch you guys?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're on Facebook as well. We have a website, eastcoastfuelers.com, and we're on Facebook and all of that good stuff. We have people coming around, people looking at us. It's still in its infancy, but we're getting there. I'd like to have more people come out. The more come out to see us, that's how they need to survive. And it's you see some stuff, and you want to see the racetracks go better. Melissa and Carl up at Island Dragway. She resurrected that place, and she's doing a great job with that racetrack. She's doing awesome with that.
Now, if you could have the fans that come out and watch you remember one thing about you, Jim, what would you want that one thing to be that they remember about you?
Always smiling and always willing to help. I mean, we put anybody in the car. I'll put someone in the car, the kids, sit them in the car and let them experience it, because that's what makes them, remember that. All our teams do that. We're all accessible like that. We'll always put someone in the car.
Yeah, kids, adults, whoever wants to get in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless the guy's got like a size 14 shoe, and then he can't fit, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone who's listening to this interview right now, you go out and see Jim and the group race. Don't be shy.
Yep.
Don't be shy to go say hello in the pit area.
Absolutely. Come on by. We're always accessible, willing to talk to anybody. Even when there's a lot of stuff going on, but usually the people can understand that and see that if we're thrashing. But most of the time, it's good, clean competition and having fun.
All right, so Jim, what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
Again, the family. Bottom line, it's the adrenaline, the rush. I enjoy the speed, the acceleration. Have you ever done it? I gotta ask you that.
No, never.
Really? You should go rent a car and just go out and do it just for the experience, to really understand what happens when you're watching the Christmas tree come down or lights change and how you go and everything else. It's an amazing thrill. And you're in sensory overload and you're processing things.
Okay, now, is there anything that you hate about being a drag racer?
Yeah, just not getting to do it enough. I'd love to do it all the time, but life is in the way, and the venues and all of that stuff. And snow on the ground right now. It's not good.
Yeah, we got the snow here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the closest track to me is the legendary Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove, Wisconsin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. 1955 opened. Yeah.
You guys have some good events at that racetrack.
Oh yeah, they got that big nostalgia one in June at 2 days.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great to see. I like seeing that. You get some big names out there. Some badass cars out there. That's nice. I like that.
So now, Jim, since you've been drag racing, has your family been involved in drag racing?
Yeah, my wife comes. My boys don't, but my wife comes. She's my crew, and thank God for her. Because I tell you, I give her all the credit in the world, and any of my teams that have their spouses with them all the time, it's awesome that they put up with us and they learn how involved they are with us as well, and they help each other.
So, what is your wife's role in what's the role in the crew member?
She's it. I mean, we'll grab somebody else, but from the starting, packing the parachute to as you know, a lot of people think the magic when you're starting a blow motor is the guy in the cockpit. It's actually the person in front of the hat squirting the bottle.
Yep. So does your wife pack your parachutes or you pack them?
We do it together. We'll because it's easier when you have two people do it. The parachutes don't come off these cars like the fuel guys do on the pack and stuff like that. So it's nice to have an extra set of hands.
So your kids never got into drag racing?
No. They never picked up on it, and I'm not going to force them into doing something that they're not going to like.
So how many kids you got?
I got two boys, and they're 30 and 28.
Any grandkids yet?
I got one little granddaughter. She's out in Kansas.
Nah.
Yeah. She just turned a year about 2 months ago. So yeah.
Now, if you didn't become a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Probably counting a lot of money. No. I don't know. I'd be doing something mechanical because the cars have always been in my blood since I was 7, 8 years old. I was always doing either mini bikes or doing something.
Now, when you get out there in the staging lanes, Jim, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions when you're out there?
I just kind of go into a zone. You go through everything. You picture the race. You picture what you need to do, and it starts becoming secondhand. But you still need to be aware of what's happening, and you watch what's going on in front of you.
Now, do you have any sponsorship at all?
Myself, no. Our group has alky diggers. S&W Race Cars helps us, and Competition Products does as well. We're always looking for something. I'll always look for someone to sponsor me if anybody wants to do that. You definitely get name recognition all over the place. And, Mike at Alky Diggers, he wouldn't do something unless he got a return, and that's what you look for.
Now, have you ever put any nitro on that dragster?
No, I haven't. I like my bearings right where they are. I would love to, but I like my bearings right where they are.
Now, have you ever driven nitro?
No, I haven't had the chance or the opportunity. Would I? Yeah, I probably would. I would definitely entertain it.
Now, as far as drag racing goes, do you have anything on a bucket list that you would love to try one day?
Nitro, to be quite honest with you. It would be pretty neat to try that and learn that. And that's pretty steep learning curve too as well. But there's enough people around us and at the events we go to, from the funny cars to everybody, there's enough nitro guys out there. It's amazing how many people, how many I guess legends and stuff like that, or old time guys that are around us.
Yeah, so you got a lot of nostalgia front engine dragster nitro on the East Coast.
There's not that many nitro cars on the East Coast. There's a handful of them, but not really that many. Um, most of them are Alki. We probably have the fastest Alki front motor car in our group, is Charlie Benson as well. Again, and he's running 630s. There's a couple other guys that are going to be, on his toes maybe, which is good. I like a good competition. But no, there's not many nitro cars. There's nitro funny cars, but there's not that many nitro front motor cars.
Now, do you have any favorite tracks that you like to race on?
Virginia is a beautiful racetrack. DMP, Virginia Motorsports, is a great racetrack. I like them all, but there's some that are a little not as favorable. But at the same time, I'll run just about any, as long as it's safe and it's all set correctly. Virginia is great. Bradenton down in Florida is a fantastic racetrack as well. I've been there numerous times. Maple Grove, when we get a chance to run, that's nice. All the big ones, to be honest with you, they're all good. They're all good.
No, I'm sure you would love to, travel to California and go race at in Famosa one day, huh? Bakersfield.
Oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to go out there and run that one time. That would be a neat bucket list to go see and to enter in and and that's a true coast to coast tow. Because
Yeah.
I'm on that's all the way across. It's a long way.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be well worth it just to run the Marsh meet one day, though.
It would be. I give those guys out there. We have a bunch of racetracks, around here within a couple of hours drive, and those guys out there, I think they're what, 6 hours to each track at least or more, which is, unless there's one right in someone's backyard. But most of those guys are all over, and it's nice. But I'd love to run anywhere, to be honest with you.
Now, do you guys only do quarter mile racing?
We like to do quarter because most of our cars are set up for quarter mile, but we'll do an eighth mile track if an eighth mile wants to have us. We'll do that as well for sure. We're always looking for venues on that. There's not a lot of eighth miles up in the Northeast. Once you start getting south and getting like south of Mason-Dixon, there's a lot of eighth miles come up then.
So now, you yourself, do you have a preference for quarter or eighth mile?
I like the quarter because we got the speed.
Yeah, because the eighth mile, pretty much when you get to the eighth mile, it's pretty much where you're gonna accelerate it in the quarter mile.
Right, exactly. We're these cars where they're set up. I mean, they're still running some numbers. Most of these cars, we're running 150, 160 in the eighth, probably a little bit more as well. Some are 160s, but by the time we're at the top end, we're doing 190s, 200s. Yeah.
So, Jim, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
Right now, I actually borrowed or actually bought my suit from a friend of mine, but I'm going to get another suit. Deist is my parachute. I don't want to say anything. I like DJ is good for the belts as well on that because they have the aluminized ones because that's what we need. We need that kind of belt on that as well. Fire suits, I don't really have a real preference. I like them lightweight and one piece, to be honest with you.
So I noticed on your Dragster it says Daddy-O on it. Daddy-O, is that your nickname?
Yeah, well, actually, that was my dad's name. I called him that all the time, and my kids called me that, so we just put that on there. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, the kids are still involved in some way.
So is purple your favorite color?
I bought the car with that color on that, believe it or not, from Mike. He painted that, and it just looks so cool. I left it alone. It's neat. It's different. It's unique, and it's got patina as well.
Yep. So now, what have been some of the milestones in your drag racing career so far?
There's a whole lot. This car was a whole lot because it was injected first, and then I went to a blower with this car as well. Back in the earlier days, it was running 10 seconds, and then the dragster was 9 seconds. There's a whole bunch on that. Every time you do something different, you figure things out. But this car probably had bigger milestones with my career for between speed, ET, and engine power supply. From injected unalky to blown alcohol. Yeah.
Now, is there a lot of preparation into getting that dragster ready for a weekend?
You always, like anything, you have to do your homework. You have to go over everything. I'll get everything set before the race, the week before in there. I'll prep it a little bit and I'll go over everything as we make passes. I don't have a lot of time when I'm actually racing because I'm also organizing the races, talking to the track announcer, the promoters, and everything else too. So I'm kind of wearing a bunch of hats when I'm at the racetrack. So I make sure my equipment the weeks before is the best I can get and make sure and do all the prep. And you look for things and you do a lot of diagnostic in between and you just make sure everything looks good. That's all. And just investigate.
So what's been one of the biggest wins in your drag racing career?
The biggest wins? Hasn't been a whole lot with these guys because they're usually faster than me at the moment. But
Okay.
I'm getting there. And, it's the biggest win is actually the family, to be honest with you. It truly is. The group that we have. It's all great with everybody. That's probably the best, and that's a win, to be honest with you.
So what's been one of your greatest memories of being in this group?
Again, everybody. There's some guys that are just will roll over backwards for me if I need something. They'll be like, "What do you need?" And it's just about everybody, to be quite honest with you. Jim, what do you got? What do you need? Everything on there. They're just all. It's just family. Bottom line. I mean, to be honest, I know I sound like a broken record on that, but it's truly it's a second family within that, and they're great people, and they're just awesome people to be with, an awesome group.
Do you have a most memorable race with these guys?
They were all good. Virginia was fantastic because that track is like that race surface. After our first pass at that racetrack, we didn't think we were on the ground because it was so flat. I tell you, the people that built that track, Maple Grove is great. They're all good, to be honest with you. One is just as good as the other, to be honest.
So do you have any?
They're all good.
So do you have any tracks on the bucket list that you would love to be at one day?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, Pomona would be neat. I would actually, in this area, I would like to run Bill Bader's place at Norwalk in Ohio. I would like to make a race there. Bowling Green is probably another one of those. That's a race event that eventually I'll figure out. We're busy that weekend, but Norwalk and Bowling Green is probably one of the bigger ones I would like to try and get to.
All right, now let me ask you a few fun questions. Are you ready, Jim?
Go.
Outside of sport of drag racing, you have any other hobbies?
I golf. Putt around the house.
So you do the whole 18 holes?
Yeah. The 19th's the best, but yeah, I do the 18. Yes.
So how many years you been golfing now?
Oh gosh, I've been golfing probably as long as I've been racing. My dad took me out when I was 8 years old.
So you're a good golfer?
It depends on the day, but I'm okay. I probably hit in the low 90s.
Now, do you have any trophies or plaques or any kind of stuff from drag racing?
I've had a few. I had a bunch when I was racing at the Hamptons from winning races there, but life got in the way on that. Right now, in my possession, no.
Now, Jim, if you were able to find a time travel machine that could take you back in the time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing career?
Yes. Um, there was a gentleman, Larry DeLeo, asked me if I wanted to run a Nitro Funny car back when I was 18.
Someone asked you to drive a Nitro Funny car, you said?
Yeah.
And you would,
Yeah,
you would,
he was,
so you'd,
and I was like, really? And I thought it was full of crap, but it turns out I realized after the fact that he was actually Bruce Larson's manager at one time.
so you'd go back in time and take that offer.
Yeah, I would definitely entertain it.
All right, now, if you and your wife have time for a vacation ever, what's your favorite vacation getaway?
We like to go to Bermuda. We actually like the west coast of Florida is nice too, because that's like another home to us down like in Sarasota, down in that side. You know, Bermuda's probably the best place because it's nice and easy, close, and it's perfect. It works well.
All right, now, what is your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, let's see. You know, there's some great pizza. There's some great ribs. I got a smoker now, so I'm smoking my ribs. My own barbecue. I like barbecue.
You have a favorite beverage?
You know, I like seltzer. Believe it or not, you know, beer is nice once in a while too, but seltzer's good. I like that because it's refreshing.
So now, if you drink a beer, what kind? You have a favorite beer?
Uh, whatever's cold. Yeah, I don't like these fruity ones or anything like that. Keep it simple.
Now, did you say you drink seltzer?
Yes.
I hate seltzer water.
It's not everybody. You know, it's flavored, but it's not for everybody. But I'm always walking around with it. I'll have like 4 or 5, you know, in a day in the office.
So how about a track? You drink seltzer water or regular water?
Most probably I'll have that. I'll also have some iced teas because my wife brews some killer regular iced tea as well, and not very little sugar.
Now, when you're at the track for race day, how's your eating habits? You eat regularly during the race day, or do you eat lightly and wait till the races are done?
I'll eat very lightly. I'll have a little something during the day, and then I'll eat something afterwards. Yes, because I learned when I was road racing, I would eat at lunchtime, and it was no good because my blood was in my stomach, and I had food coma.
Now, do you guys cook at the track?
You know, but some of the teams, well, they usually wind up feeding me something, but once in a while we'll bring a grill or something like that. Yes, but not regularly.
Now, does the group cook?
Some of my teams will have something like that. And to be honest, we'll buy something from the track because I just want to support the track too as well. Most of the times, but mostly someone's always throwing something at me.
All right, now, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Oh God, favorite movie. Oh gosh, you know, I don't really go to the movies that much. You know, I like the earlier classics, like Casablanca and all of that stuff, but nothing new.
So what's your favorite type of movie? Like action, what kind of westerns?
You know, yeah, it's something entertaining that's not too. Yeah, I like some action movies. Yes, you know, some Clint Eastwood movies aren't so bad either. You know, some a whole bunch of different ones. Some mysteries. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm all on it.
The old Clint Eastwood movies like Hang 'em High and Good, the Bad, Good, the Bad, and Ugly.
They're okay. You know, you look at some of them now and you go, God, they were cheesy, but they still work.
Dirty Harry, Magnum Force.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about like the Charles Bronson movies?
They're okay. After a while, stop on the first one. Don't make the second ones after that sometimes. Sometimes the sequels, they just trying to force it too much. I mean, look what they did to Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
Stop.
So when you were growing up as a kid, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch?
Oh, I loved Bugs Bunny. All of the Looney Tunes and stuff like that. That was, you don't realize how much adult humor was in that, and plus the music too as well, because it was all classical music.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize that, and then you look back at it and go, "Holy cow!"
So what were some of your favorite TV shows growing up?
Oh gosh, it was Gilligan's Island. I liked anything that made me laugh and smile. I like to keep it light. Gilligan's Island, all of that stuff was good.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly Hillbillies, gosh,
Did you watch?
Get Smart,
Did you watch?
all of that stuff.
Did you watch the Brady Bunch?
Not frequently. Every once in a while, someone else like my brother was watching that, but not really a whole bunch.
How about Happy Days?
That I watched once in a while too. I was usually out working in the garage when that was on, because that was always on about 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Now going back to cartoons, did you ever watch Speed Racer?
Yes. Speed Racer was great. I remember watching that when I got home from school. It was on at like 3 o'clock or 3:30. Yes.
All right, now do you have a biggest pet peeve?
Yeah, people lying to me and being lazy.
That's in life, right? How about the track? Do you have any pet peeves at the track?
People lying and being lazy. No.
Same thing.
When we race, it's pretty straightforward. We go up there and put on our show. We go up and race. I don't like people taking too long to burn you down. I don't like that. Discourteous or something like that. But most of the time is respect, and we respect each other.
Now, are you a dog person or cat person?
Dog.
Do you have any dogs?
No, I did. We actually, a year ago, we had to put ours down. So that was a hard thing.
Yeah, they always, become part of the family, and it's always hard to put them to sleep, man.
Yeah, it was hard. She was just short of 15 years old, so yes, that was a difficult one.
Having problems walking?
I'm sorry, what's that? Yeah, no, she had a stroke.
Oh.
Yeah. She was a standard poodle, but she was just it was just time, bottom line. That was it. Would I get another one? Not just yet. I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, that's man's best friend.
Oh yeah. They're angels down here without wings.
Yep.
Yeah. But what else?
So, what would you consider to be your fondest memory of your drag racing history?
Oh gosh.
It doesn't even have to be you driving a car. It could be just a memory of drag racing. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny. Probably the fondest memory was probably the first time I went to a drag strip, which was in '68. I was 8, 9 years old, and it was my first taste of nitro and everything. I was like, "This is cool," and I was hooked.
So, what was your first track you went to watch drag racing?
That was New York National Speedway.
So, how old were you?
Gosh, how old was I?
Yeah.
I think it was either 8 or 9. I think it was '68, so that would make me 9.
Yeah, my old man started taking me to drag racing. I was about 4 or 5. We'd go to Great Lakes. We'd go to Great Lakes Dragway, and we'd go to the one that's closed down in Indiana. Was called US 30 Drag Strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see all them old Garlets and Shirley Modani and everybody. Snake and
Yeah,
Mount.
see, I didn't have that. It's funny because my dad didn't do that. He had no interest in racing. It was all my own self funded and self fueled.
Yeah, it's my dad's fault that I like drag racing now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think that's great. So, but you gotta get down the track. Bottom line, I can tell you that right now because you put things in perspective for you too as well. It's huge.
Yeah,
You definitely do.
Yeah, it was good memories watching the Snake and Mongoose racing, and
Yes.
Chi-Town
Oh, the
Hustler, and
rivalries.
Jungle.
Oh yeah, the rivalry.
Yeah, seeing the Jungle Gym car and all those cars.
Yeah.
Hawaiian.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I wasn't that fortunate, but still, with the one car, there was 2 or 3 funny cars out there, and there was Lou Arrington and Brutus, and there was one or 2 other cars there, and I think they were just putting on a couple shows or like a Wednesday night show night or something. So it was cool.
Have you seen that Brutus car that's out there now?
Every once in a while, we used to see it all the time at Englishtown before Englishtown shut down the Dragster at the nostalgic days, or they would do it on a couple of days there. Let's put that, like a couple of events. They would bring it out. I guess there's one floating around here. I guess a tribute car or something, or maybe the real thing. I don't really know. I never got to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, drag racing stays in your blood forever.
Oh, it's an addiction. Absolutely. Like I said, I took a 20-year hiatus and came back into it. So for sure. Oh yeah. Yep. It's there. You never leave it. Some people say you miss it or something like that. They get right back. They'll get back into it a few years later.
Yeah, I just did an interview the other day with top fuel dragster driver Doug Foley. He took a 10-year hiatus and he came back.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And he's coming back, right?
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, was Doug Foley Jr. is managing a racetrack down in Virginia somewhere. Yes. Yeah. I think that track is owned by who's the funny car guy? Hagen.
Yeah, Matt Hagen.
Hagen's. Yeah, Matt Hagen's family, I believe. So I don't know.
Yep. So anyway, Jim, it was great talking to you. Thank you for being on air with me.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It was a nice surprise, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have any final words or thank yous you want to do before you close?
Just get out the track, guys. Just support them. Bring a friend. Bottom line, but support the sport we're in that we all love. Bottom line.
Yeah, and if you watch it on TV, it's not the same watching it on TV as being there and smelling and hearing the sounds and all that good stuff.
Oh no! Like the videos that are out, like the people experiencing Top Fuel or Fuel for the first time, where they jump out of their skin. That's it. Get out there and see it. Get to the track. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Jim. And I wish you the best of luck with the 2021 season.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you have a great night, buddy.
You too, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right.
See you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.